Disco.
All right, if you're just joining us, and you want to go to the big shoe, jump ahead about 4 minutes, and that's where things will get start to get a little feisty. If you're just joining us because
Oh,
hey,
it's plenty
we're off.
feisty now. Come on. What
Yeah,
are you talking
this
about?
this is the pregame show where we limber up and get ready for the big for the big.
Hup, hup,
uh,
hup, 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 hup.
yeah. Oh, it says we're upcoming, so it might not be there yet. Does it say we're live?
Yeah, says we're streaming.
Okay, well, if it says we're streaming, then yeah, I will tell people hi. Keeps wanting me to buy. Oh, yep, there we go. It,
You
it,
realize there's a lag, right? Because it's the whole internet thing.
yes,
Okay.
I
Just checking.
okay.
I know you're not up on the whole technology thing. Hi, Tim.
Ah,
And Catherine. How's it
yeah.
going, guys?
Keeps wanting to know if I want YouTube TV. No,
No, no one ever wants that. I don't want to pay for YouTube Premium. No, no one ever wants that.
pay for YouTube.
What, dollars?
It's like radio on the internet.
I know.
All right. Yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
There we
dun,
go.
dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
I
dun, 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 da.
You know what we could do on the pregame?
What?
Do you have the songs, or would you rather
What
wait for
songs?
those
What
the
songs?
ones you made tonight?
Oh yeah, absolutely I do. I have them both.
Why don't you play the one you like the most for about 90 seconds?
I took the city by 1 a.m. Loaded, I'm on gear to store again. Loaded. I come
Name that
alive
tune,
in
people in
neon
chat.
light. That's when I make my moves tight. Living out, make my moves tight. Living out moves tight. Living out to midnight, rock the dawn. All done to the morning, then I'm gone. I'm gone. I took the city by 1 a.m. Loaded, I'm on gear to score again. Loaded, I come alive in the neon light. That's when I make my moves right. Boom. That's when I make my moves right. Living out to sight. Living after midnight. Rocking till the dawn. Loving to the morning. Then I'm gone, I'm gone.
It's 8 o'clock, so we probably better do that thing.
Well, that worked just right for us then. All right. Let's do this.
Bants and Bants. Bants and Bants.
All systems go.
Bants and Bants.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
This rebel has a cause.
Bombs and Bants.
We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 144th live edition of Bombs and Bants Wednesday Rants. As always, I'm your dedicated and humble host, John Wilder, coming to you from the penthouse control room of the majestic Wilder Industries skyscraper. With me, as always, is Mark.
Hey, everyone.
Sneaking in. I didn't know he was there.
No, I was here before you even started that song.
You just
Yes,
quiet.
and so Judas Priest normally does Living After Midnight, and this is an AI swing band doing Living After Midnight. So hope everyone enjoyed that little foray into oddity. How are you doing, the missus?
I'm doing okay. Better than last week.
Better than last week.
Yeah.
You're less infected. Is probably-
I'm not 100% yet, but I'm a lot better than I was last week.
All right. And Mark, in 17 syllables or more, how many? How was your preceding week?
How my last week? Well, work's
Mhm.
been busy. Weekend was good. Got some chores done and went out shopping. I don't know. Picked up a Went to the used bookstore and picked up a, I guess a prepping book um, from like the 1970s, but it's got like a huge section on how to use stored grains and stuff. So I was like, hey, this is cool. I'll have to check it out. So
There
anyway,
you go. Excellent. You know what I was thinking? We ought to make everyone do their weekend update in haiku form.
I like that. But I think we should do it 17 syllables. I think you were right on that. And we'll just call it a Mark coup.
Mark. Oh, hey, big announcement. Biden is selected as VP candidate. It's formerly living actor Leonard Nimoy, who Biden says will provide him that spot he needs to get more votes in the 48 states. Yeah, pretty. And, he's
It
hoping
will
to
bring
win,
in the all-important nerd vote.
Well, he's hoping to get Alaska and Hawaii as soon as they're admitted to the union. So, all right. But now it's time to take a stroll down that. Oh, we do have funny things.
I do have funny things, and I have 8, so we can do half now and half later.
Take us down Funny Street.
All right,
before we
and
get
we
to
will do the
Conversation Street.
non-political stuff first. So here we go. Me, Shake's Magic 8 Ball. Me, will my eyesight get better soon? Coconut. Next, if you have any bowling puns, spare me. And that one, I think, deserves. There we go.
Indeed.
Next, armadillos, just tactical salt possums. So, I saw a weird thing today, and I noticed it because it was so out of character. Speaking of possum, I'm driving down the road. If you live in an area where possums are at all, there's always about a half a dozen laying dead by the roadside, right? Because they're kind of cute critters, but they're very, very stupid. So they get hit a lot. And so I'm driving down the road today and lying on the side because I thought it was a cat. It was a white possum, pure white. Very weird.
That means it's going to be a cold winter.
Maybe so.
About winter time, going to be a cold winter.
Willie
Yeah.
Cooley, and I haven't read the entire thread, says leprosy. Maybe the possum has leprosy. I'll give you that.
Oh.
I don't even know if that's what he was talking about.
I thought armadillos carried leprosy.
I don't know.
yeah, they do.
Oh, darn
They
it.
eat
Well,
ticks, though, don't they?
don't know.
I had
Maybe
heard they
the-
were very dirty in some way.
Maybe they
some of it.
maybe they make
Yeah.
the ticks leprous. Or
Maybe
like
so.
vampire ticks. Tim says this is depressing. So move along.
All right, no more talk of dead possums. Next. There, this should help, Tim. You thought was Sharky Boy, but was Doggo. Bamboozled. All right. There we go.
Tim notes armadillos. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 well played. All right. Well, we've had some funny things. It's now time for the streets that we call conversation.
And now it's
Tried to
time
trick
for
it.
us to take a And now it's time for us to take a stroll down the smooth sidewalks of Conversation Street.
Oh, just a few more weeks and then we'll be at the actual election. The first thing we need to talk about is Kamala Watch this week. Kamala met with Oprah. Probably the less said about that, the better for Kamala. It was probably the least engaging or the least. Let's put it this way: Tom Cruise was a little less weird on Oprah than Kamala. Janet Jackson declared. Oh wait, in other news, Kamala also declared, apropos of nothing, that she was raised in a middle class family.
That's going to be my go-to from now on. Anytime anyone ever gives me a tough question that I feel I can't answer, I'm going to immediately start off with. Okay, so I was born a middle-class kid.
Speaking of middle-class kids, Janet Jackson declared that Kamala wasn't black. Then a spokesman apologized. Then Janet herself apparently buried her nipple and said, that she ain't apologizing. And at a campaign stop, Tim Walz, apparently campaigning against himself, said, "We can't stand 4 more years of this." He really said that.
I know, I saw that, yeah.
And Joe Biden spoke for a grueling 120 long seconds extemporaneously before turning over the White House cabinet meeting, the first in over a year, to Dr. Jill Biden to run. Discuss.
Well, we know he hasn't been in charge. Question is who. I don't think that it's his wife, because I don't think she's that smart. I mean, I read her dissertation. It was shit. So
she's not charged, I don't think either. That the meeting, as I understand it, wasn't even over anything particularly important. Excuse me. I thought it had something to do with, like, education or welfare or something similar to that, where maybe she was the most logical person to run the meeting. But
yes, well, one of the things she mentions is, and Jim Wetzel brings this up, she may have been in a middle-class family, but it wasn't in the United States even. It was in Toronto. And that's not even part of the continent. It's like French or something. We should have burned it to the ground. Oh, wait, didn't we? Didn't we burn it to the ground? All right.
No, I think we did finally go up there and take back our baseball teams. Does Toronto still have a baseball team?
I don't know. I think they
Montreal doesn't, because they're the Nationals now. Let me just see. I have to know now. We were listening to baseball before we started the podcast.
She was listening to baseball, and I was listening to her listen to baseball. Let's move to the Trump side. You can look that up. The newest Trump campaign supporter, Joe Biden, appeared in a firehouse wearing a Trump 2024 hat that one of the participants in the visit urged him to wear. So there's Joe being sharp. Criminal charges were filed against Trump and Vance by a Haitian nonprofit. They filed that criminal charge against them in Ohio, which I guess is a thing you can do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I come on. That's ridiculous.
And reporter Olivia Nuzzi bombarded Trump supporter RFK Jr. with porno shots and incessant messages. Who would have thought we'd see a Kennedy involved in a sex scandal? Discuss.
What? Say it ain't so. I'm shocked. Well, not that shocked.
What are your thoughts on this week for Trump?
Oh, my thoughts on for Trump?
Yeah, on this week or any of it. Just discuss.
Well, I have to admit, I thought it was sort of funny that Biden not only asked to wear the cap, the MAGA cap, but then he kept it.
Yeah, he just stole the guy's hat.
Yeah.
He wants something to remember the day by. Literally.
We'll see what he can do to sabotage Kamala. Maybe that's why his staff isn't letting him have any freedom or go anywhere.
Well, maybe when we see Olivia Nuzzi wearing it, we'll know who gave it to her. She got consolation Biden time.
I don't know who that is. So,
Kamala
she's a reporter.
Be careful, because that Nuzzi or whatever her name is may be going after Kamala's job, and in the same way.
Oh my. Let's see. And the criminal charges filed by the Haitian nonprofit in Ohio. The Haitian nonprofit is, I did look this up, is actually based in California, but they filed charges in Ohio. Do you think that they're going to get Trump this time?
Surely they will. Because if it was against the law to do what they did, politics would be illegal in Ohio. So
that's a fair thought.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the law there. I mean, generally, only prosecutors can file criminals. complaints. So the whole thing's sort of curious.
Right.
It's Ohio. You know,
It's Ohio.
it's Ohio.
Well, I've always kind of been under the perception that making a libel lawsuit stick is very, very difficult, and it's even more
This
difficult.
isn't libel. This is criminal.
I know.
And what's the alleged crime?
Being mean to Haitians.
Some sort of false defamation or something like that. And I'm like, I think you can only do that if you name an actual person.
And the other part to this is, I mean, they'd probably be more effective if they just use voodoo. Just saying. All right.
Well, that would involve sacrificing a cat.
Oh yes, that's the problem with everything we're seeing in Ohio right now. Pussy galore. All right, off to the Jackass of the Week.
Oh, are we done with conversations?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
This is Neil Young. And I'm proud to present my braying Jackass of the Week.
And I just sit here in silence until I realize, oh, that's my cue.
Yeah. Yeah. Why doesn't John talk? Oh,
Yeah, why are you not talking? What's wrong with you? Oh, okay,
You blew-
so it's
you
me.
blew in me.
Because no, I'm not Kamala, and you're not Willie Brown. We're not supposed to talk about such things. Tobias, I guess I just blew myself. Okay, you see, get a tape recorder and you just record yourself for a day. I think you'll see what we're all saying. Okay, first on the list, Bernie Sanders.
is he still alive? I forgot he was alive.
I know, the man who combs his hair with a balloon. Who was on MSNBC, and this was after Kamala's "My values haven't changed. My values haven't changed." And he was asked, come on, have her values changed? She's done a complete 180 on her positions. And here's what he had to say, letting the mask slip just a little bit.
Do you think that she is abandoning her progressive ideals?
No, I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election.
Oh, so she's lying. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Lying.
Yeah.
You just comes so natural to Bernie. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, her values they're not asking her about her values. Her values consist of the advancement of the Marxist revolution and the destruction of everything in Western, particularly American culture and history. She's probably always wanted something akin to the China's Great Leap Forward and Cultural Revolution, and she still does. So in that sense, no, she hasn't changed her principles.
Oh, well, let's just get to Jackass number 2, shall we? Which is, and this week I have her listed not as Pamelac, but as Camel Toe. And this is not a recent one. This is when she was running back in 2020. So her values haven't changed, right? This is what she said, and she was speaking to the Portsmouth, Massachusetts Democratic Convention. Okay? And here's what she said.
I learned.
Let me just start this again. She's talking about when she became a prosecutor for the first time.
I learned. I think I was, 22 when I started that work. I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. And because of the swipe of my pen, that person could be arrested. They could sit in jail for at least 48 hours. They could lose time from work, and their family maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community. all because of the swipe of my pen. Weeks later, I could dismiss the charges, but their life would forever be changed. So I learned at a very young age the power.
And that's why she wants to be president.
Yeah. By the way, there's no way that she was 22 when that happened, because she'd have to have gotten an undergraduate degree, which would have been at least 4 years.
Well, she's
and
a
then law
genius.
school is another 3 years. Yeah.
See, she probably started law school when she was 18 because she was so advanced in her studies.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I know, right?
Well, she only failed the bar that one time. Okay, but now she can't even. Now she couldn't even pass a bar. All right, we have some tough work to do, folks, and everyone in the studio audience. It's your time to press that vote and vote for number 1 or number 2.
And we have our brand new voting song this week.
We have our voting song.
It's like the Jeopardy theme song, but better.
Okay, you can stop it there because I think we're in, and online it's unanimous. So, Mark, what's your vote?
Oh, mine's 2, Kamala. She's
Okay, so it is unanimously unanimous. She has won it, knees down, and it's funny to me though. She's identifying in that clip exactly the tactic they used against Trump. I can prosecute it.
Yeah.
Yep. And Jim asked, "Isn't that the Haitian mix jingle?" No,
And
this
this
is
has
actually
been
the
Bray
Haitian
Jackass.
dinner call.
Okay, now you can finish that. What's that?
Yep. This isn't the Haitian mix jingle. It's the Haitian dinner call. Meow, 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 meow. So there we have it. And this just in from Twitter. Apparently, Kamala learned a new word today because within the span of 15 seconds, she used the word holistic 3 times. I don't know if she had good comprehension on it, but she used it 3 times in a way that, meant that she had heard it, because I'm not sure she can read. Ready for 2 minutes of gun in 1 minute?
Sure.
Okay, here we go.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so there's a guy, some of you may already know his name, Claude Werner, and he goes under the moniker of the tactical professor. Writes a lot for different gun magazines and stuff. Anyway, browsing through his
15 seconds.
his blog the other day, came across an article from a few months back or a couple months back that he did on a test that I guess was developed by some of the Old West gunslingers to actually test how good a shot
30 seconds.
Like Buffalo Bill and all that. Anyway, it was sort of interesting. It was a 5x5-inch square envelope at 10 paces. They had to put 6 shots in it. On the back of the envelope was a stamp, so they couldn't see the
45
stamp.
seconds.
But one of those 6 shots had to also go through that stamp, which means they had to figure out the center and shoot and hope that it went through the stamp. Anyway, I thought it was very interesting.
In 3, 2,
10 paces.
1,
Werner
stop.
said that was 10 yards. Actually, it's probably either less or longer distance. But anyway, there you go. Sorry, I went over.
That's perfect. And your thoughts on that, the missus?
That's very cool. I like historical stuff.
Very nice. Very nice. And Mark, I must say you're getting very, very good at this. So we're going to have to change it up. No, seriously, it's really good stuff.
We'll have to release a deer on the track or something while he's in the middle of it.
Release.
And then it was like, ah!
All right, let's think.
What? Oh,
Let's
okay.
Think real fast.
Hurricane season is near its peak, and it looks like Florida will spring a leak as Hurricane Helene is set to smack into Florida on Thursday. Mark, are you, like me, relieved that Tom Brady doesn't live in the hurricane country anymore?
Are you? I mean, I don't care, but
Well,
I guess I'm not really because I don't care.
the missus Helene is projected to hit Kentucky on Friday. Is it after the Kentucky chickens or the Kentucky Derbies?
It's after the cats and dogs.
It's Helene.
Yeah, I know.
Not okay. All right. Troops are on the way. Again.
It's coming from the down there off the coast of Florida.
Is it gonna cross Haiti?
It's near Haiti. Yeah.
Oh, troops are on the way to the Middle East again. This time with the 101st Airborne headed out to join the already 40,000 people troops there. Mark, who exactly do you think ordered the troops to go, and why is it Jill Biden?
No. I heard Kamala say the other day that there were no troops anywhere
Yeah, absolutely
in the Middle
none.
East.
So this has got to be false news.
Well, someone ordered the troops there. Who is it?
Disinformation. I don't know. Maybe it's a Russian hoax.
There you go. And so my question is, and you read my mind, the missus, didn't Kamal say that we didn't have any troops in other countries?
Absolutely right. And I think whoever started this vile rumor should be put in jail because that's what Hillary Clinton said we should do.
Anyone who has misinformation
should be arrested.
All right. Codex, and it's Helene is French, so the troops would like that. But I'm a story back. All right. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Bob Zelensky openly campaigns for Harris in Pennsylvania while signing bombs at a bomb factory. Mark, thankfully, we would be debunked if we called this foreign election interference, right?
Of course.
And the missus. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no. Go ahead. I didn't have anything really to add.
Okay. The missus, do you think that the Party for Peace is the ones that are signing the bombs in the bomb factory?
Absolutely. Have to be. The Democrats never want to start a war unless it's their war, and then it's a good war, unlike Republican wars, which are all bad wars, and we all know that. Come on. It's only a good thing to go die in some foreign hellhole if it's started by a Democrat.
That's right. Russia is in talks to send advanced long-range missiles to the Houthis that are currently shooting at the American Navy. Mark, aren't the Houthis really an imaginary science fiction race of people from Star Wars?
Well, I was thinking more of them as a fantasy type thing. I mean, they live in the desert. They're these barbarians. They just sort of can disappear, and then they use their special magic to shoot missiles.
Ooh.
Sounds like the new Harry Potter book.
So since these missiles that live in the desert,
Harry Potter and the desert assholes.
maybe they're shooting these to find an oasis, and so that these would be moisture missiles. So no, I'll just stop right there. The missus, what could go wrong?
That sounds like an AC/DC song to me.
The missus, what could go wrong with giving Houthis long-range missiles?
Blow up fish. Oh, Codex. That's a good one.
When's the day? Oh, all right. A person.
Hey, don't blame me. Codex derailed that one.
Yeah. Well, okay. The missus, what could go wrong? So tell me, what could possibly go wrong?
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
A person who predicted
it will all work out just fine.
The 2008 stock market crash predicts that the epidemic of young people living at home with their parents will cause housing prices to crash 30%. Mark, won't that just make it a better deal for the Haitians?
Well, it'll be a better deal for BlackRock. Yeah, I don't know. I think what's going to cause housing housing prices to crash is when the boomers start dying off in large numbers.
Ah, the missus. Why are the surviving members of the boy band Menudo to blame for the housing crash?
Um, because of their Saturday morning TV show.
They had a Saturday morning TV show.
Yes, it wasn't a cartoon, it was live action, and they just sang their stupid songs. Now,
So
I
was
watched it because I was 11 years old and totally in love with every member of the band at that point, but, their music was terrible, too. Just terrible.
Did you know Ricky Martin was gay then? Or was
No,
he
and you
in
want to know something funny? Okay, so when I was 10 years old, Ricky Martin was 12 years old. And then suddenly, when I was 30 years old, Ricky Martin was 27 years old. I don't know how that works.
It's Hollywood math.
Yeah, absolutely.
Attention, Kmart shoppers. The last full-scale Kmart in the United States just closed down. Mark, what was your most fond Kmart purchase? And why was it Mork and Mindy suspenders?
Oh, you're assuming something. I know I never bought suspenders there. My favorite purchase, I don't know. It probably was like a toy gun or something. Who knows? I was a child last time we went to Kmart.
I bought Ozzy Osbourne Blizzard of Oz as an album. Okay, the missus.
Yes.
What was your most fond Kmart memory?
Probably just buying a lot of CDs there. Because again, in my hometown, in which I grew up, did not have a Walmart. We did have a Kmart, so that's where I bought all of my cassettes. Actually, they weren't CDs there, they were cassettes.
See, I have to say for fond memory for me, I mean, literally the only real memory I have of Kmart, at least from when I was a kid, was, occasionally they would do their blue light
Yes, the
special
blue light
and announce it.
specials.
And of course, as a little kid, you're all excited, so you gotta run all over the store till you find where the blue light was and see what they're selling. And most of the time it's cosmetics, but nothing that actually interests a small boy, but
well, you dress like Paul Stanley all the time, so you needed that black and white face makeup.
yeah.
All right, Motel 6 is now redeemed. They've been sold to an Indian hotel company for $525 million, which is enough for 100 million rooms for a single night. Mark, do you think that the Indians will set up scam phone centers in their spiffy new motels?
Probably. The problem is now they're going to have to import Indians to run all these hotels. I'm sure somebody in Congress will step in and give them some sort of special waiver on for the number of visas that they're allowed.
Oh, this is Tumbledet. We leave the light on for you.
Let me tell you, we have such a fond memory of this. Okay, the missus, do you think that means you can pay for Motel 6 with a Target gift card now if you don't redeem?
I think they only take Apple gift cards.
Apple gift cards. I don't have any.
Or maybe Outback Steakhouse. I don't know.
Well, what are they going to eat there?
Chipotle.
Okay, they got chicken they can do. Police have shot and killed a polar bear in Iceland. The first polar bear seen there since 2016.
So what do they do? Oh my God, shoot it!
Yeah, they think it was blown over from Greenland on a chunk of ice. Mark, is Greenland some kind of polar bear dandelion where, every summer polar bears get on chunks of ice and go flying to the wind?
That's exactly how it happens. That's how they reproduce. The mama polar bears produce a little puff thing that has all these little baby polar bears attached to it, and then the wind comes and blows them away. And as it floats through the air, the polar bears get larger and larger and larger until they're too heavy, and then they softly land somewhere.
And the missus, why didn't the Iceland police just build a fence around the polar bear and go, hey, free zoo?
Well, I mean, they did immediately try and jump on it and say, stop resisting, but Then the polar bear just flipped around and ate them. So,
Well, the funny thing is, when you look at
they did not
things
respect their authority.
when you look, and the one thing I'll give the Icelanders credit for is the one thing that the polar bear would be able to eat on Iceland is Icelanders. So, I mean, there's not anything that it could chase down and eat. So, except for people. So, anyway, is that what we do with refugees? Okay. Former rapper P. Diddy has been arrested and is in jail in New York.
Respect my authority.
And his roommate is none other than crypto fraudster Samuel Brankman Fraud. What are the odds, Mark?
Well, I think things are going to be pretty wild there at night.
Which one of them do you think will get the bottom bunk? Still you, Mark.
Oh, the bottom bunk?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I always hated the bottom bunk, so I always assume the bottom bunk goes to the person that's the weakest. So I assume the fraudster guy.
The missus? Did he do it? Get it? Did he do it?
Probably.
Well, sound like he did everyone.
Let's be honest. Why do you have lots of money and power?
To abuse it?
So you can abuse your underlings.
Well, do you realize he had a guy hired whose only job was to follow him around with an umbrella?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
oh, I would certainly have snack dwarves if I was a
Snack
billionaire.
dwarves. And then you would give them hammers and make them hammer fight for your amusement.
No, they'd be allowed to hammer fight if they were good.
Every now and then, you'd give them foam hammers.
No, I'd give one of them a foam hammer. All right. A judge is set to approve auctioning off InfoWars to partially settle Alex Jones' debts from his bankruptcy. Mark, since InfoWars is simply Alex Jones, can he just podcast from his parents' basement and still end up with 10 million listeners?
He probably could. That's so funny.
Elon Musk should buy that.
Doesn't even understand where the value comes in that business.
Right.
We'll just sell off half of it.
Yeah, we're going to sell off this microphone. Okay. And this truck and this remote control. Okay, all right. The missus, do you think that Alex will still be selling vitamins?
See, Catherine and I agree. I just said that Elon should buy InfoWars. Agreed.
Well, see again, and that's again. Here's the problem: is all Alex Jones has to do is buy the website InfoWars too. Then he's back my old vitality enhancement pills. The Finnish Interior Minister, Mari Rantanen, says Finland has space for 300,000 Indians. Mark, do you think India needs 300,000 Finns?
I think so. I think any country could benefit from that many Finnish people.
Only if they're shark fins, and they wear them while they're swimming in the ocean.
Well, at some point, I have to draw the finish line. Oh, sorry. The missus, do you think the Indians will be moving to Finland to build Motel 6s for the Finnish people?
I don't think they'll ever come out of their houses.
Who, the Indians?
Yes, it'll be too cold. Don't you remember when we were living in Houston? And the guy that at the car dealership where we were buying the car was an Indian guy. And it was a day in January, and it was about, I don't know, upper 40s, lower 50s in Houston. And we're talking about what a nice day it was because we had just moved there from Alaska. So it was a nice, cool day. Beautiful day. And the Indian guy goes, you know, my wife and I moved here a couple years ago from India because my brother said, hey, come on over. Lots of jobs here. Come on over. So we did. Said my wife will not leave the house if it's cooler than 80 degrees because it's too cold. And she wears a coat when she leaves the house.
Not going to make it.
Wow,
Yeah.
It's funny because you can always tell the California people that moved to Idaho from California because it'll be like 70 degrees out and they're wearing a winter jacket, a puffy type jacket. It's funny.
What was the other big sled dog race?
The Yukon Quest.
Yukon Quest. Every year, one year it would start in Canada, and the next year it would start in Fairbanks. They alternated. So one year we were at the start. It was the boy and I, the eldest boy, and we were there at the start, and it was like 45 degrees that day. It was just beautiful. Yeah, maybe it's 35. Anyway, it was just a beautiful day, and he had elected to go without a coat, and he's 5, 6 years old.
He was wearing a sweatshirt.
Yeah, I was wearing a sweatshirt, and I was wearing like a sweatshirt as well. And some woman came up to me and says, "Don't you think it's a little cold for him?" I look at him. "You cold?" He goes, "No." I go to look at her. "No."
Well, you remember when it was so warm that one summer? And by warm, I mean it was about 75 degrees. So it was swelteringly hot for Fairbanks. And so our friend's kids were playing outside in the yard, and one of them comes running over to him and says, "Dad, I'm hot." And he goes, "Well, just be glad you're not a tourist, because then you'd be cold."
Dirty Jobs guy Mike Rowe says that the days are gone where work ethic is a virtue. Mark, is it now time for video games and YouTube because that's the new Atlas Shrugged?
I don't know. I'm just gonna leave and go somewhere.
The missus, wait, I was too lazy to write a question for you. All right, in Alabama, McDonald's contracts.
That's good, because I'm too lazy to answer it.
McDonald's contracts their work to prisoners, like inmates from jail. Inmates who refuse to work can face solitary confinement. So their choices are solitary confinement or work in the fry station at McDonald's. Mark, in 2048, will Bombs and Bants be convicted of hate speech and sentenced to make sausage McMuffins?
Yeah, I could see that. It's a good thing it's only under your guys' names.
You should have redeemed. All right, the missus. Why don't we have convicted criminals serving us here? I feel, like those people in Alabama are getting a deal and we're not.
Well, I just feel like the criminals in these parts it's been too hot and they haven't been committing crimes at quite the rate. But it's been cooling off. We're getting more cool fall weather now. So I feel like they'll be stepping up their game soon. So, we can
There you go.
hope. Yeah.
In other news you can use, and this is our last story, the United States imported 282,000 barrels per day of used cooking oil. Where's the worst place besides Haiti you can bring it in from? China. Mark, is this a bit oogie to you?
Yeah, I would wonder what else is mixed in with that. Probably like a bunch of mercury and whatever other pollutants they want to get rid of.
282,000 barrels per day of cooking oil. The missus, Chinese buffet, anyone?
Well, I'm just thinking we missed our opportunity to get very wealthy. Remember when we moved to Fairbanks? I mean, we moved in the middle of the winter, so everything was covered with snow. So it was kind of like as things melted, discovering the things that were just sitting around our new house. And one of those things were a bunch of barrels sitting against one end of the house. We were like, what the hell are these? And as the snow melted, you could see written on the side was
cooking oil.
Used cooking oil.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, what the hell do they have big drums of used cooking oil for?
And I just imagine there might be a body inside.
Right. But come to find out what the real thing is that people in Alaska who have dog sled teams, that's what they supplement their food with in the winter so they get plenty of fat in their diet so they can stay warm.
So a friend of mine burned his furnace, and so he just took it. So I never opened this barrel for all I know, Jimmy Hoffa might have been in that barrel. So now I will tell you, it's the used cooking oil is supposedly for biofuels, but once it hits the United States, I'm not sure I trust anyone to not
Oh, and then
Chinese
I heard this
local.
other story the other day too, and this was a thing I saw on Facebook, so I'm not sure if it's true or not. But it was about this burger joint, and it has been in business for like 100 years, and they've never changed their cooking oil. They strain it so it gets all the bits and pieces out of it, and then they just put it back in the pot. And apparently that's what gives the hamburgers their unique flavor. And I'm like, like death?
Yeah, I can't imagine the things that have oxidized into that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. All right. Well, that is the end of Think Real Fast.
Oh, I've lost my mouse. There it is.
Think real fast.
All right. You said you had more funny things, and these are apparently the political ones.
I do. So should we play our Bombs and Bants theme under this?
Well, you have another Living After Midnight.
I do.
Gather around, folks, it's time to tune in to the chaos and chatter, let the fun begin. It's Bombs and Bants with John, Mark, and the missus, where the news gets twisted, oh what a bliss. John's cracking jokes with a grin so wide, Mark's stirring up trouble, never on the safe side. And the missus, oh she's the queen of sass. Together they're a trio causing quite a mess. Bombs and Bants, where chaos meets news, John, Mark, and the missus, giving us the clues from headlines to hijinks. Bombs and Bants, keeping us coming back.
I think the AI missed its opportunity there to the Mrs. is the queen of sass.
Mm-hmm.
And she talks all the time because she's such an ass. I think it just missed that opportunity.
Yep. Well, actually, that is the one line that is the most memorable to me, and from the entire song is the Queen of Sass.
Yep.
Anyway,
that's me.
Mark, do you have any clothing thoughts? Do you think I would look better with these so longer pants, or do you think I should go with the shorter pants? Maybe the sweater pumps. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Oh, geez, that's a shock. I would go with the suede shoes.
Always a solid choice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's brown though. Blacks, yeah.
I
Not
don't
blue?
slip on my blue suede shoes.
Right. I think
No,
that's
no.
That's
Brown.
the classic though.
Brown.
So the myth?
Yes. Yes. Did you need something?
I have become Mike Tyson for the end of the film.
No, you talk like this. This is Mike Tyson.
Do you have any clothing or boxing or closing thoughts? Any of the above?
Clothing thoughts? I think I'll buy a beret this week. That's it.
You already bought a beret this week.
I did. That's why I think I'll do it, because I've already done it.
All right.
It's on its way. It should be here. Okay.
It's a long story.
No, I will tell you the long story. Okay. So there's a local community theater group that is putting on a play this week. And they are notorious for how terrible and bad they are. And so my friend was like, you know what I should do is I should wear a beret and dress like an art critic and go and just show up and sit in the audience dressed like an art critic. And I was like, man, if you will do that, I will buy you a beret and a long skinny thing to hold a fake cigarette in so that you can go and pretend to be an art critic. And he's like, that's a deal. So
there you go.
Fun. Yeah. There's supposed to be full frontal nudity in this play too.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the reason he's going, because it's like a free play, right? And so he's like, I just want to see the looks on the faces of the church ladies in the audience when the guys come out naked on the stage. So they'll all be putting their glasses on and leaning forward.
Well, it depends on who's. Well, all right, we'll stop it right there. All right. On that note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming to Bombs and Bants and Wednesday Rants. As always, I'm your humble host, and look forward to seeing you next week for more insanity.
And this is Mark.
It's a full
I'll see you
frontal
next week, too.
podcast, and our music just stopped. And you always leave it to me to walk it out.
Yes.
Hey, but we're here.
Until we're not.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my friggin' life.